Saudi brothers and sisters, I want you to imagine with me for a second, someone who's on deathbed, someone who's bedridden for so long, and they're falling unconscious and then they wake up, and now they know that they're in the last moments of their lives. If they're given the opportunity to open their eyes one more time, and to speak to their loved ones who are around them, whether it's your children, parents, your spouse, whoever that is around you, imagine you've been given this opportunity, what kind of advice would you give these people who are around you in a moment like this? Would you even imagine someone would be worrying about his money, about his car outside, about the house, about the land, about whatever they earn in this dunya? Is that what we'd be caring about that moment? Perhaps they would, if this is what is the most valuable thing for them. People usually remember the most valuable thing for them at a moment like this. So what would be the thing that you would advise your loved one if you believe in this world? This is what happened with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam fi abihi wa ummi. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in the last few days, according to Umm Salama radiallahu anha, in the last 5 days, before he died, he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he tried his best to get out, to lead the salah for the ummah. They were waiting for him. For days they were waiting for him. They knew how the Prophet ﷺ, is always there for them, for Salah al-Jama'ah. So a few days before that, Rasulullah ﷺ was unconscious. The moment he woke up, the first thing came to his mind is concern for the ummah. But what concern that he had for ummah? The salah. The first thing came to his mind, he asked the people around him. He says, قَالَ أَصَلَّ النَّاسِ. Did the people pray? Those are in the masjid waiting for him. Did they pray? قالوا لا يا رسول الله ينتظرونك. No, they're waiting for you. They knew the Prophet was just there. Why is he coming out for salah, to lead the salah? But he wasn't able physically, he was getting tired. So the Prophet, he ordered water to be brought to him. So he brought him some water, he took a quick shower, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, refreshed. And on the shoulders of Al-Abbas and Ali, as he was trying to leave the house, he fell unconscious. They bring him back again to bed. After some time he recovers, he wakes up, he opens his eyes. Guess the first thing he asks about? He said, أَصَلَّ النَّاسِ. Did they pray? قَالُوا لَا يَا رَسُولَ يَنْتَظِرُونَ. Subhanallah. They said they're waiting for you. So the people are waiting for the Prophet to lead salah. And the Prophet was so concerned that he's causing the people to delay their salawat. So he said, give me some water quickly. And he took another shower for the third time. And he fell unconscious on the way out. Then he said, when he brought him back again, the last time when he opened his eyes, he said, Muru Abu Bakr falyusalli bin-nas. Let Abu Bakr Siddiq lead the people in salah. And that was a very surprising question, very surprising incident for the ummah. How come someone else leading salah when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam just across the door from the masjid? It was very difficult for them to understand that. Salama, she said in the last few days the Prophet ﷺ would be covering his face trying to catch breath, and then when he recovers he says, As-salat, as-salat. I advise in regard to your salah. I advise in regard to your salah. I advise you in regard to your salah. These are the last few words of the Prophet ﷺ. Why is that? Because he knew that perhaps in the ummah, one of the earliest things the ummah would unfortunately would start leaving would be as-salah as well. You see, I'm saying this khutbah here, why now? Why exactly? Because we're coming now towards the winter time. I don't know if you know that, but by the time next week, inshallah, next weekend, the time will change. Suddenly, Maghrib is going to be before 6 o'clock. Isha before 7 p.m. And that's when people most of the time are on the highway trying to catch up to go home for dinner. That's when many people just start missing salawat all of a sudden. And now they're having to deal with it. It was easier in the summer. Alhamdulillah, you could go home and have dinner before even Asr time begins. Now it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be challenging. And what is even more ironic, even Fajr time, it's close to 7 a.m. to pray Fajr in the masjid, but less and less people show up for Fajr because we become more comfortable at night. And we don't have the urgency, so we start missing salawat. This is the time we need to worry about your ibadah, your salah. And why is that for? Because salah is going to be the first question you are going to be asked about on Judgment Day. That is what the Prophet ﷺ said. Wallah is not going to be about how much charity you've given throughout your lifetime. It's not going to be how many times you went for Hajj. You're going to get reward for all these good deeds. Don't worry about it. But the first question you'll be standing to answer for is going about your salah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, أول ما يسأل عنه العبد يوم القيامة الصلاة. The first question you are going to be asked about will be about your salah. فإن صلح صلح سائر العمل. If it was perfect, everything is going to become perfect afterwards. وإن فسدت فسد سائر العمل. And if it wasn't perfect, everything else is going to have to wait until you deal with the salah. In the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, the person would be stopped at the station of salah on that day. And they will be asked, انظروا, check the records of salah. So when the angels, they check the records of salah and they found it perfect, the person will go and pass. But if the record was not perfect, you missed 10 years of your ibadah. When you were an adult, you were busy with something else in this dunya. What happened to these 10 years? Where did they go? Sometimes, you just gotta wake up, later in your life. So you miss more than 10 years of salah. Where did they go in the records? 1 year, 2 years, 1 day, 2 days, one single salah is missing from the record. What happened to it? You're going to have to answer for this. Rasulullah said, so then when they check that the record is not complete, it's incomplete, then they will be asked, انظروا هل لعبدي من تطوع. Check if my servant did anything voluntary in terms of salah. Like, did you pray Sunnat al-Dhuhr? Did you pray Salat al-Duha? Did you wake up at night for Qiyam al-Layl, the night prayer, to add up some extra bonus ibadah? Just in case if you needed something to complement what you missed up in Salat al-Fajr, you have something as a backup for you. So it's not just about doing your 5 daily prayers. It's much more than that. It's presenting something worthy, something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept from you. That is the thing you need to worry about. Because I know some brothers said, alhamdulillah, I've never missed salah in my life. May Allah bless you and bless your family, your children with this. And continue doing that. But are you sure it was accepted? Because quality matters as much as quantity. When we pray, where is our mind? Where's our heart? Are we really focused on that ibadah? Do we really worry about it? If Allah will accept that ibadah from me or not? Or am I just doing my duty? Just to get over with it, so I have, alhamdulillah, my checklist for the day is complete. See, the Prophet ﷺ said, some people, they get from the salah 1/3, 2/3, half, more or less. And he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, قَالَ وَأَنْ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ صَلَاتِهِ إِلَّا مَا وَعَى. You only get from your salah, you get as much as you remember. How much conscious you are in that salah, this is how much you get out of it. No wonder people keep saying, I've been praying for all these years, Ya Sheikh, my condition in life is not changing. Well, check out the link between you and Allah Azza wa Jal, that divine link. Is it sound? Is it good? Is it perfect? Is it worthy presenting when you stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That is so crucial, Allah, it is so important. Your salah and your ibadah, not just about the number of salawat, is the quality of your salah. This is the time most difficult for us as a Muslim ummah, Muslim community. We're looking around us, subhanAllah, we've been left on our own. I mean, even looking at the political climate of our community in America over here, wallahi, it is so scary. When you hear someone like Donald Trump is kind of becoming, trying, basically, to become the president, and he's threatening of closing Masjid. At a moment like this, compared to the elections in Canada, of course, how different people think, subhanAllah. You realize that you're on your own. And you're going to need this divine link. You're going to need this connection between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because you realize when no one else is going to come to your help, there will be no connection that is so sound, so strong, so powerful, except the connection you have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is your salah. How strong your salah is. How conscious in your ibadah when you pray before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How is it so important to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam even to pray? You see, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam wanted to show us, or when Allah Azza wa Jalla, as a matter of fact, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to show us the importance of the salah, we all know when it comes to siyam and hajj and zakat, they all became obligatory upon us when the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam migrated to Mecca, to Medina. So it became obligation later in the history of Islam. Salah became obligatory very early in Islam. As a matter of fact, from the moment the Sahaba they became Muslims, they were ordered to pray. Surah Al-Muzammil, one of the earliest surahs were revealed, is an indication to that. Their obligation was to pray Qiyamul Layl, night prayer. Today for us, this is, alhamdulillah, is optional. For them it used to be obligation. Every single night, they had to wake up to pray Qiyamul Layl. Why is that? Because they needed that connection with Allah Azza wa Jalla. And then later on in the history of Islam, 10 years in Islam, when the Prophet ﷺ showed how important Salah is, Rasulullah ﷺ, he went through a lot of difficult times. And Allah Azza wa Jalla wanted to give Muhammad ﷺ a relief from the stress he was going through. So what happened? You know, the first 3 years in Islam, da'wah was secret. 4 years after that, it was public. And they had to endure a lot of hardships, a lot of torture. 3 years after that, the Muslims were put in what we call it today concentration camps. They were isolated in Sheikh Abi Talib, banned from any social interaction with the community and the society. No economic, trade and business with them, no marriage, no whatsoever. So they were put 3 years in a concentration camp in order to bring them back again from the new religion that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent to them. So they wanted to leave Islam, but they didn't. After these 3 years, what happened? During the 3 years in the last year, Rasulullah lost two of the most valuable people in his life. His beloved Khadija, radiallahu ta'ala, his emotional support, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And his uncle Abu Talib, his political support, even though he didn't believe in him, and he didn't believe in his, basically as becoming a Muslim, but he always supported the da'wah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when Abu Talib died, Abu Lahab took over the leadership of Banu Hashim, the clan of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we know Abu Lahab, his position for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was his arch enemy, his own uncle, who was fighting against him. And when the Prophet ﷺ came out of that siege, came out of that concentration camp, back again to the city right now, he was left on his own. Even Abu Lahab, he made it clear that he's yours. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm not going to defend him. Like his brother did Abu Talib. It is during that time the Prophet ﷺ, he realized the Meccans are not going to believe. He went out to Al-Ta'if, the closest town he had. And he was very hopeful. The people of Mecca rejected him. His own family rejected him. He could find support in the neighbor city, in Al-Ta'if. And if you've been to Al-Ta'if, it's a mountain area. He climbed up the mountain, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Today you have cars, alhamdulillah, you have highways. Back then you have to do it on your own. You walk up the mountain. He went all the way up. And he spent 14 days giving them da'wah, hoping that they will accept the message his own people refused to accept from him. That there will be his support. When his own people refused that support. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he was asked about these days, the 14 days he spent in Al-Ta'if. He was asked, Ya Rasulullah, have you ever suffered any day that was harder on you than the day of Uhud? On Uhud, the Prophet ﷺ was almost killed. He was physically injured. He bled sallallahu alayhi wa sallam from his head, from his mouth. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he lost many of the valuable Sahaba and friends in that day. It was a very painful day for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Still, when he was asked if he had endured any days harder than the days of Uhud, he said there were nothing compared to the days I spent in Al-Ta'if. Like what he endured in Uhud, were absolutely nothing compared to the 14 days he spent in Al-Ta'if, the humiliation that he had to endure sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the mocking, the beating. That as he was leaving the city, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were throwing rocks at him. His feet were bleeding. And as he was going down the mountain, he was so concerned. He didn't even pay attention to where he was going. He said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, until he realized he was in Qabr ta'ala, like he was disoriented. So he was looking around, he found himself way different when he was supposed to be. Salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. Before he entered Mecca, he couldn't even get in there. Because the news spread that Muhammad was rejected by the people of Ta'if. So the people of Mecca now they're empowered even more. He was unable to get into his own town until one of the elders of Mecca, Al-Mut'im ibn Adi. He said, I'll take care of you. You come on in. He brought his children and he take Muhammad under my protection. The Prophet entered his own house under the protection of a non-Muslim at that day. He got into the city of Mecca. And as the Prophet ﷺ, you could tell in this position, the ulama they say perhaps this was one of the lowest emotional time for him ﷺ in his career as a great messenger. It is on that day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to lift Muhammad ﷺ's spirit up to the highest level. As he did. It was on that day Jibreel came to him at night and he says, come with me. He put him on a ride, a very special ride, al-Buraq, that flew so fast they went to Jerusalem, to what is now al-Masjid al-Aqsa. The same al-Masjid al-Aqsa that you hear about every single day in the news for the past few weeks. What is happening over there is atrocities for the Muslim Ummah, for the world, for humanity, wallahi. That people are left on their own, are not to defend themselves whatever they can against occupation, against injustice in Palestine. And they were left for what? When everybody else is busy with other affairs in the world. And the Muslims in Palestine, they're left on their own, and for us just to make dua. That same spot, Rasulullah traveled there. And in that same spot, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was lifted up to the seventh heaven to meet with his Lord in the manner that suits his majesty. And there, Jibreel alayhi salam takes Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to meet with his Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when even Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam being there, he asked Jibreel to come with him. Like, I can't be by myself there. Jibreel tells Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, I can't move forward. If I do so, that's my limit. I can't, I'll be burned. He went in a station that is in higher than the station of Jibreel in that moment. For what? To receive a certain command from Allah Azza wa Jalla. What was that? The 5 daily prayers. Allahu Akbar. Allah Azza wa Jalla commissioned Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, bring him all the way from earth, all the way to meet with his Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala, without the need for Jibreel to be in between. And it says, Ya Muhammad, order your people to pray 50 salah, 50 prayers during the day and the night. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we listen and we obey. And he comes down. On the way down stops him Musa alayhi salam. May Allah reward Musa immensely. Musa stops Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Muhammad, ماذا أعطاك الله? What did you get from Allah Azza wa Jalla? قال أعطاني 50 صلاة في اليوم والليل. We're getting 50 prayers during the day and during the night. Musa said, no, that's too much. I tried Bani Israel before you. They won't be able to make it. Go and ask Allah takhfif. Ask Allah to make it easy for you. SubhanAllah. Rasulullah didn't know he could ask for concession. But Musa is the man for this. Because he was the only prophet that we know who dared to ask Allah Azza wa Jalla, قال ربي أن ينظر إليك. Can I see you? And we know the story of Surah Al-A'raf. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, look at the mountain. If the mountains can't stand for this, you will be able to stand for this. The mountains just crushed in an instant. And Musa kharra sa'iqa. So Musa told Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, go and ask Allah to make it easier for you. Rasulullah goes back, Ya Rabbi, as'aluka al-takhfif. I asked you for a concession. And Allah says 45. And he kept going back between Musa and his Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala until Allah made it 5. And then Musa even said, this is still too much. And Allah, Musa alayhi salam, he said, it's still too much. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I can't do anymore. That's it. I'm so shy to go back to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decreed, خمس في العدد, خمسون في الأجر. There shall be 5 in number, 50 in reward. ما يبدل القول لدي. This is it. That's the end of it. And that was the beginning of your prayers of 5 prayers in this session that we do today. Where was it established? In heavens as well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for this single command, that you order your people to pray 5 times a day. This is the importance of salah. This is how it should be really regarded and looked upon and looked at. It's not just something that you do, in a mechanical way. No. It's not about just getting over with a duty that you have to do eventually. This is a blessing. Wallahi, it was established in heaven so that when you're on earth, you have that amazing link with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in heaven. No wonder Rasulullah said that أقرب ما يكون العبد من ربه وهو ساجد. The closest a person can be from Allah Azza wa Jal is in a position of sujood. Wallahi, this is so ironic, because physically, sujood position, the prostration position, is the lowest physical position, but it gives you the highest spiritual position. Because when you're there, you're only doing it for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, not for a human being. You're doing it to liberate yourself, liberate your soul, your heart. And when you're there, no one will hear what you're saying. This is a very private connection, a very private link between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I ask Allah Azza to make us among those who listen to the speech and follow the best of them. And those who maintain their salawat and their ibadat during the day and during the night. And those whose ibadat will be accepted بإذنه تبارك وتعالى. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين واستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. صلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان يوم الدين. My dear brothers and sisters, when it comes to the salah, it's not just going to be the first question you're going to be asked about. La Allah. This is going to be your capital. Your salah is your capital. You see, many people today, they're busy in the schedule of this life, subhanAllah, and they need something, just something that I can hold on to that will help me shut down the day and throughout the night. When you get so busy in this dunya, you get distracted. You need some sense of spiritual power. Where do you get that from? You connect with Allah. That is the essence of your salah. Your salah is an organizer. It's an organizer for you. Those who don't pray, their day is just so fluid. They get bored so quickly because there's no limitation in terms of time for them. But for a believer, someone who maintains his ibadah, when he goes to bed, he's worrying about what? Missing Fajr Salah. You already sitting limitation in your mind. And the moment you wake up for Fajr Salah, you pray your Fajr, alhamdulillah, you're relieved. Then as you move on with your day, whatever activity you're going to be making, what is on your mind? The next Salah, where am I going to be when time for Dhuhr comes in? When I leave work, Asr time, Maghrib, Isha, Salah is an amazing organizer for you. Wallahi, it helps you maintain your sanity, your spirituality, your emotional strength and power. In addition to that, every time you're getting tired and exhausted, you go and watch the news, you're depressed, what's going on in the world. You go shopping, you have some troubles with finances and so on. Going home, you have some issues. Everywhere we go, we have some issues. What is that relief that you get? How can you get yourself out of this dunya? There's nothing better than getting into a spiritual experience. And there's nothing better than salah. This is what it means to you. And that's why it's very crucial. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made obligatory that we maintain 5 daily prayers. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those who maintain these 5 daily prayers. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا انك انت العليم الحكيم. اللهم ات نفوسنا تقواها وزكها انت خير من زكاها انت وليها مولاها. عباد الله ان الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا ايها الذين امنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين. وارض اللهم عن الخلفاء الراشدين ابي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وعن سائر الصحابه اجمعين ومن تبعهم باحسان الى يوم الدين واقم الصلاه.